The first thing I want to get out of the way is the safety of these products. Now, there can be some confusion about this if you start reading about silica and the safety of silica and crystallized silica. This cat litter is synthetically made and it's amorphous silica. I hope I'm saying that correctly. But it is not crystalline silica that is organic and naturally occurring, which is actually the same kind of silica that traces can be found in clay cat litter. So, to say it again, this is synthetic amorphous silica that's produced in a laboratory and not naturally occurring crystalline silica, which has been found to cause lung issues. And if you breathe in the dust of that naturally occurring stuff, it collects in lungs and causes lung problems and things. But that is not the same as this amorphous silica. Amorphous silica is widely used in cosmetics. So people are slathering this stuff all over their face in powder form every day all over the world. It's safe. It's also a federally approved food additive. It's used in over-the-counter drug products. It's used as industrial cleaners and detergents. It's used in root canals. It's used as dental cements for sealers and preparations. It's used for fiber, paper manufacture, cellophane, film, ceramics, glass fiber, paints, batteries, foods, absorbents, industrial absorbents. And all of this stuff has been found to be safe and is federally approved uses. So it's been found to be safe, and I found a study online that it's a really good laboratory study that analyzed 23 different silica-based products because they're derived from different things. There's magnesium, there's zinc, there's sodium silicate, there's sodium potassium aluminum silicate, there's hydrated silica, there's lithium magnesium silicate. There's like 23 different ones. And this study analyzed them all and basically concluded that they were safe. I am not going to provide a link to this study for a couple reasons. Let me explain. One, this is publicly available information and they published the study to be used, but I do not like using other people's works on my YouTube page for copyright reasons. I'm not real sure what you can and can't use. If you go around to other people's web pages and take their content and photos and their ideas and then post it on your YouTube page, some people could get upset about that if they own that material and that's their work and you're using it. So I try to avoid that whenever possible. And the second reason is a lot of people just can't handle this type of information. It's very technical information, and people just can't handle it. I'm sure you all know how people are, but these studies were done by independent laboratories. It has nothing to do with the manufacturers of the cat litter. Let me say that again. None of these studies were done by any of the manufacturers of the cat litter. The cat litter people have nothing to do with this study. The study used animal testing, and in some of these studies, they would do like inhalation studies on rats, where they would use aerosol-based silicate particles and subject rats to very, very high doses for like 10 hours a day. They would be enclosed with particles of silicate, and then they would analyze their lungs and things to find out if it was dangerous. But again, this is not the cat litter people. It's an independent study, and this is how they determine the safety of these things. So I'm not going to provide a link to the study. I will tell you that the study is named the Amended Safety Assessment of Amorphous Silica and Synthetically Manufactured Amorphous Silicates as Used in Cosmetics. And they tested 23 different types of silica in various forms and do a pretty good job, but it's some tough reading. It's long. I wouldn't really recommend reading through it because you don't know exactly what type of silica is in this cat litter, and you can get way off track reading because there's 23 different types and there's different forms of it, and all kinds of stuff. So I wouldn't really recommend. All you need to focus on is that it was found to be safe. There's also a web page called Tuft and Paw, Tuft, Tuft and Paw, and they do a nice little article called Pros and Cons of Crystal Silica Cat Litter. Now, I read this bag of Vibrant Life cat litter front and back. They do not say anywhere on the bag what type of silica crystals these are or what they're derived from. They don't say if it's the magnesium, the zinc, potassium, whatever. They don't say exactly what it is. And I didn't call them to try to find that out because, I mean, after reading all of these studies and looking online and knowing that there's various manufacturers using this, I concluded that it's just got to be safe. I mean, this wouldn't be going on if it isn't a safe product. So, with all of this safety information out of the way, let's go ahead and move on and talk more about the daily use of this cat litter. So far, things have been going really well. She's using the litter. The smell is not bad at all, and the upstairs is pretty clean. Now, I am still using one of my 2 litter boxes with clay litter just because I didn't want to throw it all away. I mean, I've already gotten almost another month's use out of it, and that's just a lot of time for me, in my opinion, to just throw away and waste litter. So as soon as that clay is done downstairs, I'm going to switch her second litter box to crystal litter also. But as you'll see in the video here in a minute, she has been using it very well, but she's still favoring her other litter box to poop in. She's using it very well and quite frequently to pee, but I just cannot get her to poop in that thing. I mean, I'm not doing anything to try to force it, but I wanted to get the footage of cleaning it out and everything, and I just can't do it. So I'm still waiting. She just hasn't done it yet, and she has the option to go downstairs, and that's where her food is, so she spends more time down there. But here she is upstairs peeing in her crystal litter and doing just great, but she will not agree to poop in there yet. So I'm not going to be able to get that footage, but I feel confident that eventually she will. So here's the deal with this stuff. You're just supposed to stir it up. You can see in that photo the little faint bit of yellow that was kind of at the bottom of the screen. That's where she just went pee. And this is all you do is you just stir it up and you scoop the poop out. If she poops in it or when she poops in it, you just scoop that out and throw it away. And then you just stir it around, and these crystals absorb the urine and water, and the water evaporates. And once that happens, you're left with dry crystals, and there really isn't any smell left. I mean, not much at all. These crystals last about 40 days with one cat. If you have multiple cats, it won't last as long. But for the price that this costs, you can get this litter for like $11.99 or something, like $11, $12 at Walmart. It's really a pretty good deal in my opinion, because then you just throw it away at the end of a month basically, or 40 days, however long you think you can stretch it. I mean, if it's not smelling bad and it's still absorbing, then go as long as you think you can. But I'm thinking at least 40 days because I still have quite a bit of time left, and it's been a month already. But these 8-pound bags that I got filled my litter box up really well. Now, I did not put a tape measure in it yet, or I don't think I'm going to, but I didn't put a tape measure in it. It's got a good solid 3 or 4 inch bed of litter. I mean, it's thicker than I would even put down typically clay litter. It may be hard to tell in this video, but I mean, it's got like 4 inches deep of that. So there's a really good amount of it in there, and it seems to last for a pretty good time. When I first got this litter and installed it into a litter box, Like the very first time she peed in it, I mean, I was home and I was trying to watch it. Here you can see that is already dried, so it's not clumping. But the very first time she did pee, I got it when it was really fresh. And when I scooped it, it was the crystals were kind of sticky and stuck together a little bit when the pee was fresh. And I actually did take that clump of it and throw it away. I took it out of the litter box and just threw it away because it did kind of clump up a little bit. So I mean, you could do that sometimes, but it would have to be when the litter is really, or when the pee is really fresh, right after they pee and it's wet and it's sticky. Because it'll start drying and then just the crystals just harden and fall right back apart, and you can't really scoop it out again. But you're not supposed to do that. I mean, I'm just showing a lot of footage of me here stirring the cat litter because that's all you're supposed to do. You could remove it if you wanted to, but you don't have to. And the smell is not that bad, like I said. And my cat's pee just doesn't smell very strong. Like she's on a raw diet, which you can see her eating here out of her little food bowl. So like 98% of the time she is on a raw diet. And with a raw diet, they just basically, their body absorbs and consumes like the vast majority of everything they eat. And since it's meat and that's what they're programmed and genetically supposed to be eating, it just absorbs everything, and she doesn't poop very much at all, and it doesn't smell very bad at all because there's not a lot of vegetable and byproducts and grains and fillers and cellulose and whatever they put in it, and foods to get fillers and make a lot of commercial foods. That's what makes pee and make them poop a lot and make it real stinky and everything, because that stuff doesn't break down in their intestinal tract, and it'll just sit in there and rot, and it's just rotting, decomposing food. Look at her food bowl. I mean, she gets it shiny. She does get canned food like maybe once a week or less when she finishes like her portion of raw food and I have to thaw out the next one. If it's still frozen, I'll give her a can of what I would consider to be quality canned food. And I am going to do a video coming up about recommending some of the quality canned foods. So if you're interested, stay tuned, and these are the picks that I have been choosing. Okay, I just want to remark on how clean this litter box is. She just used it and I missed it, but you can see where she's been digging around in it. And it is now March 4th. It's actually after midnight on March 3rd, but I put this down on like the 16th or 17th, and the only thing is she has not pooped in this thing yet. Man, if you want to get over there and drop a big old deuce in this thing, she won't do it. So that's the only thing that's discouraging. She's still favoring her other litter box to go number 2 in, but look at the rug. I mean, it is almost spotless. There's like 3 little crystals on the rug, but it's really clean and it doesn't smell, and so far I'm really impressed. And it's good to make the transition, I think, with 2 litter boxes, because she'll be used to it, and then when I make the switch, I'm sure she'll go to the bathroom. That's all for now.